Hey everybody, welcome to Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. It's podcast 3. Trey. I don't know. We're here. We made it through 2. Welcome back to all the folks who may have had a chance to catch us either on Periscope. If you're out there now, Periscope, thank you. Or if you're going to be listening to us later on iTunes or maybe watching us on YouTube. But I'm Joe from Joe's Minibike Reunion, and we're here because we love mini bikes, and we're about to put... we'll put a modern twist on vintage mini bikes for you, and we'll have a little fun. Jake Moe, welcome back to the show. I've heard some really good remarks from the folks who had a chance to catch you on the episode number 2. Thanks for coming back. What's happening, brother?
Cool. Not much. Just, pretty long day, but I'm here now, so it's all good.
Yeah, good. I know I kind of caught you off guard when I asked you to join us, but I just had to because each day I would get like an update from either an email or a post, whether it was something that was coming in or maybe something that you received. But that was really good. The episode got a lot of play, so to speak.
Cool.
And I hope that maybe you got a good rub off of it. What kind of reaction did you get? Anybody enjoy the show or thought you did good or want to hear more or maybe we missed something? What was it?
Yeah, a few of the guys on there, I was talking about some of the upcoming shows and stuff, went in there and commented, and, people were like, oh yeah, I loved your show as well. So, yeah, it was pretty cool.
It's funny how that trickles down, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
The bikes got, everybody was asking, wow, thank God he doesn't paint those bikes. It's so nice to see that. So that raw look is pretty much your trademark now, wouldn't you think?
Exactly. I would say so, yeah.
So what have you been doing the last week or so? You're mad at it again? I see you're working on a lot of trucks. What was the truck I saw uploaded recently? What are you guys building?
It's a 58 Chevy.
And what's happening with that truck?
It's going full custom chassis, full air ride. It's going on 20-inch steelies. Has some wide, like 11-inch steelies on the back. So it's going to be cool. It's actually going to go to next month. We have a show up there, Thunder on the Lot.
Okay. What date is that?
It's June 11th and 12th, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's actually going to go in bare steel.
Great. Yeah, that's it. Whether you do the mini bike thing continuously with the bare steel or you put that through the truck, it's a good look. I do like the blend sometimes, if you're going to blend it at all, with wood.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Especially like in the interior of those raw exteriors.
Yep.
I mentioned Boris and Gary Case from Street Machinery.
Okay.
They're the guys that created that patina plantation.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
They continue to do it. You've got to check them out. They found another 59 Bel Air 2-door just sitting in the middle of some carport. It was that stick-around brown.
Yeah.
But the interior was flawless, and you knew that the patina on that brown even made that brown cool.
Oh, yeah.
So, when you're not doing raw, what's your color?
I don't know. I like kind of a few, like, oddball colors. I kind of like the old maroon, the kind of like 30s, 40s, like, classic maroon look. That's kind of cool.
Or maybe even like the mid-60s Mopars, like the Barracuda had that I think it was 64, 65, it had that maroon that worked there. It didn't work on the other cars.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. There's certain things. I try to look for something a little different, but I don't think about paint too much, but...
Yeah, that's why I was asking when you do. Like, what's the color of the Jeep that you roll in? Is that white or gray? Some neutral?
Gray.
Yeah, there you go. So you don't make a commitment.
Yeah. Try not to stick out too much if I'm not on the mini bikes.
I wanted to get you back over here, first of all, just to say again, thank you. It's similar to what you did at the show.
Yep.
You kind of did it with the podcast, too. You kind of set it on fire a little bit. So Emmanuel and I talked, and we figured it out. It's going to take us about 95 years where we're going to be making at least like 30, 40 grand on the show. At that time, there's a % or 2 in it for you. In the meantime, and it's a lot of money, so you can start planning what you're going to do with it now. In the meantime, why don't you take a break?
Okay, cool.
Grab a libation. You are a Bud Light guy. Might as well tell people. Who knows? Maybe they'll want to send you a case of Bud Light while they try to court you to build a bike for them. But why don't you join Linda, have a little something to eat, tell Peter to get his ass out here. And there's a reason why I wanted you to be here, too. It was in addition to doing such a nice job on the show. I'd like you to be a frequent guest. You know how Evil Ed, he's our co-host.
Oh, yeah.
I figured I'd give him a break.
Surprised he's not here.
Yeah, well, I hope he shows up. I knew it was a full house. Like I said, give the guy a break once in a while. But there was a reason why I also wanted you to be here, and it's selfish. And it has to do largely with what you and I have been talking about. And it has to do with the fact that Peter, over his years there at SEMA, has really been a big part of establishing people or elevating people. And he's worked and elevated guys and established guys Many of them are people that you guys have known, whether it's the Ryan from West Coast Customs or what he's done recently with Max Grundy. It's been amazing to have a platform that he has to spotlight, and maybe you'll be the next one. So there's a power sports section at the SEMA show, gives us a reason to hang out over there. Thanks for coming on in.
Awesome.
I'll see you guys in a little while, and here comes Peter.
Cool.
We'll do
Just
a
in
little
time.
swap area, just in time. So I'll see you a little bit back in the show because I got a couple other things I want to talk to you about, which includes catching up on the bikes.
Yep, exactly. All right,
right.
cool. Sounds good. Thanks, Joe.
All right. There you go. Yep. You got the good ones. Make sure you got the good ones. You got the Howard Stern microphone, from what I hear. I don't know what that means. You ever try to put them on this way in front of it? It's like I've never done this before. How you doing? How was it in there? She's pretty.
Linda's killing it in the kitchen.
Oh, sure.
And so, to be honest, to be sitting in the this beautiful garage with you, Joe.
Yeah, I love what we done with the decor as you look around.
I gave you that helmet over there. Do you remember that?
I do. I've got the white gloves as well. And if you put those white gloves on now, Jake, think about it. Get the white gloves with the white. You could have a little something there, but we're not here to talk about fashion. I do want to say thank you because I swooped in out of nowhere, unannounced. You traveled way too many places. I can't keep up. But you were in town for 2 or 3 weeks, and I had to nab you to come and be a part of the show because we do this bi-weekly, and it's not as if I could just do it the next week. So thanks for making the
Joe,
time.
I traveled 6,000 miles to be here. I could be happier. I traveled 12,000.
You came here to buy shoes. like three little women
No,
went
come
about
on,
our
man.
shoes. All right, so look, we're not here about.
You know how many nights I've slept in this garage?
I remember the one night.
This is my table.
It's not. And the one night that I remember that you slept in this garage, I didn't invite you to sleep in the garages. But see, now that's how it gets into a slippery slope. And I also wanted to kind of apologize in advance because, unlike many of the interviews that you traditionally give, this may not fall into that format. I mean, we're in a garage. We've had a little something to drink. It's very casual. So if I step out of line, please just accept my apology now. So,
Joe, I'm channeling my own Ralph Finito here.
So we're gonna get a hug. You look like him. We'll go buy out. I was gonna get a drink of wine.
Come on, bud.
You like this?
This is awesome.
Reminds me of the radio show days, but it's cooler. Radio shows, there's like too much.
I don't know. This feels like kind of the Howard Stern show. When they're in the studio and it's like a radio studio.
That was
They had
less
a camera?
radio. Yeah, there was less radio.
No, he started on the radio.
Well,
Where are the white gloves?
they're there. I'll get them during the
Look,
break.
look at this.
Jake, do me a
Come on.
favor. Next to the helmet there,
Look at
see some white gloves?
Joey, look at this.
Well, look.
What's going on with this?
I didn't even know we could do that.
Jerome would have a heart attack.
He'll be the look,
Right?
There's the gloves.
Not quite the gloves.
There was a time when it wasn't so much mini bikes, it was two-strokes, enduros. And thanks to you, largely, I had a few opportunities to have some mad cash, and I bought a fleet of two-strokes. I had a Yamaha 100, a 175, and a 250. And I bought them in a fleet so that I could take my friends, many who had no motorcycle license, and we would just ride the bikes whenever we could. It included our good friend Brian Paik and Peter. And one day we decided to go take a ride to have breakfast. Well, later that day, we ended up in El Mirage with 3 bikes that had
You've
just...
been down Mirage, right?
Oh, yeah.
What's that, like 10 miles from your place?
Yeah,
Much, yeah.
Yeah, come on.
he lives in
That's no
Palmdale.
big deal.
It's 70 miles. It's in 3 bikes we hadn't even shaken out. We didn't know if there was oil in there, how we got there. Not only did we go there,
Oh, please.
we drove around. Look, there's a photo back there. I'll get it during the break. Okay. But, hey, thanks for coming. All kidding aside. And thanks for this week. Tell everybody why you're in town.
Well, I work here. I work for SEMA. And to your point, this is a really big week for us. It's a big month because we are placing all of the exhibitors for the November SEMA show. What is it, May, what?
Close to my birthday, May 12th.
May 12th.
It's not quite there. It's May 5th now.
And
but-
we're in November. And you and I, you particularly, are living the SEMA show because the show staff is placing all of the exhibitors' booths.
3,200 of them?
No,
30?
it's not that much
Okay.
yet. But it's It's over 1.1 million net square feet of exhibit space. And that's an important job because for our members, for our industry, the show is a marketplace that generates a lot of media exposure for them and frankly, sales. This industry does $36 billion of sales in the United States alone.
Yeah.
And, the industry relies on business opportunities like their industry trade show, the SEMA show, to keep that commerce running.
It's the igniter for everything.
Well, and now it's a global business, and it's really exciting for us to see all of the interest in this industry. This industry that started, the SEMA Association was started in 1963. The first show was in 1967. That would make this show the 50th anniversary show. And when you consider that it's the single largest annual gathering of small business in America, it started just a few miles down the hill from here.
Dodger Stadium, right, Peter?
Under the grandstands at Dodger Stadium. That's pretty awesome. It's so cool to be a part of this heritage, this great industry that is protecting the businesses that personalize and enhance the styling and performance of cars, trucks, and SUVs, not only in the United States, but all over the world. This is now a global industry, and the show is a global marketplace. And for all of us who cut our teeth in this industry, that started our careers here, to be a part of something that is this cool, this magical. How many of the people out there that have been to the SEMA show, that have exhibited or attended, mention it to their friends, and you see their eyes light up, and
it's the SEMA show is the magical phrase.
You could write a book on the stories that you've collected, not only in taxi cabs, but on the show floor, after hours with the different people that you've entertained in that city. Okay, maybe 2 books, but it's insane. And some of my best memories are with you in Las Vegas, attending the SEMA show, working the SEMA show.
Well, it went beyond us going to the show. It turned out to be that plus turning into the best times of our lives privately. And
that's you know what? We're not alone. There's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that can share the same thing,
or can't share the same. That's more of it.
But that's the fun of it all, and that is what pulls us all together, and really keeps me going to work day after day.
Well, I really want to just first of all, how true, every single word of it, so true in so many ways. But along with that comes the fact that you've got a pretty, when you look at opportunities within this huge industry, you've got the job that's got really, I think, one of the most powerful positions in our industry, but you also have one of the coolest positions in our industry all at the same time. You get to...
I don't look at it necessarily as powerful, believe me, but the other night I was at dinner and the waitress serving my wife and I dinner, she was like, "So, do you like your job?" I was like, she had no idea what I do. And I looked her in the eye and I was like, you know what? I've got the best job in the world.
Yeah.
I have got a great job. I get to work with people who are so passionate about their business. I work for an organization that is about serving our industry and helping businesses do better year after year after year.
Well, you also drive sales.
Well, I get to be a part of an event that is the industry's Woodstock. If the automotive industry had a Woodstock, it'd be the SEMA show.
It is.
And it's not because of the partying and all of the after-hours stuff. It's about this close-knit community getting together, and we're all brothers and sisters, and
it has a lot of
do it year after year after year. And wow, it's just a.
You know how it works? I think, I wonder if you feel the same way. It's because many of the folks, you and I included, we've all stayed in this industry because it's so cool. So you know people not just for a period of a couple of years. You've known people that stay within the industry. They may change. They go from company to company.
You know people for your career, and that's what's cool. That this industry has turned into a place where people like me, who came out of the middle of backwoods, Western Massachusetts. I have a career, and there's a lot of people like you and I that found a career in this industry, and that's a really cool thing to tap into, and you see it happen over and over again. And one common thread, one little chapter in our book is the SEMA organization and all the great people and volunteers and amazing things that this industry does to make it cool and fun year after year after year.
Well, you do that, and you have that immediate identity with the hot rods and the custom cars and the custom trucks. But what I wanted to talk about really during the podcast is how does it really kind of make a spin into the mini bike segment? And there's a couple ways. Not only does the mini bike find a home now in many of the custom trucks in the back of them when they attend the shows, but you have the power sports section at the show. And even that, before I get too quick into that, I wanted to, because that's going to be the fun part. I want to get into the. Yeah, I want to get into your mini bike. Mini bike escapades when you were a kid.
You've asked like 9 questions there. So let's start with the first one.
Okay.
What role does the mini bike play in this industry?
A big one.
Come on, we all grew up reading Hot Rod Magazine and Carcraft Magazine, Hot VWs.
Boy's Life is where I saw it first.
You're in the back, Popular Mechanics probably. You're in the back, these little tiny, what did we call those ads? We sold all of them.
The 12s were the way to go, but those are...
No, those are the 12s. They were like the 180 seconds. But these little classifieds ads about mini bikes for like $19.95.
Yeah, you bought the kit for $9.
I'd have to work for 20 weeks to make $20. But anyway, you see those ads, you see those magazines, and the magazines I was reading, because we were so poor, we didn't even know pizza came with more than one topping.
Yeah, there you go.
I'd get these magazines, I'd find them in the woods, I'd steal them at the newsstand on Spring Street in Williamstown, Massachusetts. But, somehow I'd get this magazine in my hand, and in the back I could buy a mini bike for $20, and
I could travel the world. I could leave this place.
Oh my goodness! I mean, for me, because I lived in a small town, and
it was your way out, baby.
There was one road in and one road out, which meant that in the backyard of everybody who lived there,
it was a trail.
No, we had like, just this great public space that you could.
Be free, man. Ride bikes,
free.
Right?
And, we all rode our bicycles up into the woods there.
The rich kids had mini bikes, right?
Yeah, the rich kids did. And
you weren't rich, right? You had a big family.
Joe, I didn't know. Hey, who's this guy?
Hey, this is the man behind the machine right here. Say hi to Aaron.
Aaron?
Yes.
What's going on?
He's a SEMA up and comer.
Come on and say hi to Joe.
Hi, Aaron. Thanks for doing a great job. Peter, do me a favor. At the end of the show, I'd like you to take a look at some of his handiwork. He had a little drop-in logo as well as he was the audio.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. He's a classic overachiever.
Good job, buddy.
Thanks, Aaron. I got to get you Skittles next time. I didn't do a good job on the Skittle delivery.
So, listen, I'm one of... Well, we were in a small family. I'm one of 7. And...
you weren't buying mini bikes for every 7 kids, right?
Come on, please. And, the cool thing about being in a family of 7, and I had an older brother, you inherit all their bad shoes and their figure skates and all of that stuff.
You had a lot of girls in the family too, right? You had to get those female skates. It's just tough.
So, it's tough. It's tough to play hockey.
Just can't get the white ones.
But, double
blades.
Yeah.
So you were.
And listen, a brown crayon will only go so far on a white pair of figure skates. But my brother, who's much better looking than I am,
Older?
He's older. He's much older.
All right.
You see a lot of muches. Older, better looking, smarter.
Did he get you a mini bike?
No, well, he didn't get me a mini bike. He got himself a mini bike.
Oh.
Okay, so
all right. I like him already then.
Okay,
Hold on.
well, when he graduates to the white Impala convertible,
You get the mini bike?
I get the mini bike.
Bullshit, right?
Okay.
Didn't happen?
No, I did.
Oh, good. So now it's running? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you say thank you or is it?
Well, no.
All right.
But there's a little can of gasoline
Yeah, hell yeah, a little oil
that
somewhere.
my dad uses for
Fucking throw it in there.
the lawnmower.
Put it in there. You didn't even check oil, did you? Oh no! Put the gas in there. Fired it up.
It's awesome.
Did you start it?
That's it.
And what happened?
You know what?
Did you fall off?
You take the spark plug off the top.
Oh, you put a little oil in there once in a while, a little miracle
No,
whip?
not a little oil. You
What?
put a little gasoline in
You
there.
put your-
And you put
No.
listen, and then you put the gasoline onto the spark plugs, put the spark plug back in.
You dry the spark plug
thing
first.
on.
Dry it.
Okay, the black cord that goes to the spark plug, and then you blow all the
Okay.
gasoline off the.
Yeah, good.
Right, that's it right there.
I look at you. All right.
Except that cord's red. So,
Hey, what are you talking about?
okay, so then you put the cord back on like this.
All right, Jake.
And there's gasoline.
Hey, why is
like,
that? That's a Howard Stern microphone.
hello. There's gasoline like dripping down here, but it's cool because you just go like this. No, you blow it off.
Did you ever know how to work this properly? Did you know what you were doing when you were going to the right or the left? Did you
Joe.
know?
Joe.
You didn't do the
So
choke?
I'm trying to start this thing.
Hey,
so
that's vintage. Don't try to start that.
so
So you took the bike out.
so you fire it up. You got gasoline under the spark plug. You're off, man.
Yeah, you're just like, did you smoke at the time? You fire one up?
No.
All right, did you get like a leather
But
jacket?
you know that Tracy Chapman, "You Got a Fast Car" song.
You
that is
got a
about your-
fast car.
Yeah, you got a ticket to
Yeah,
anywhere, or
yeah.
whatever it is. I mean,
So come out of here.
that is when you're 8 years old.
Yeah, that was
and
your
you
ticket
steal
to
your
cool.
older brother's mini bike. That is.
So I would ride mine anytime. Like it could rain. It's like I could give two shits. I
Oh,
got on that
please.
bike.
Ever been on the snow?
Yeah.
Have you been on a
Utica.
frozen lake?
No. On a mini bike? No. Yeah. So the mini bikes, they were the biggest things to those of us who grew up at the time, and now it's Groms. And now it's UTVs, and now it's $100,000 buggies. I talked to Tim today.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Well, Tim is not 8 years old. Okay?
No, but he's a part of a big segment of guys that will spend $100,000 now
sure.
to get on a
Listen,
UTV.
I'm still talking about, I'm 8 years old. I'm riding my mini bike up Stonehill Road.
How'd you remember that?
Just behind my house. How beautiful is that? My cousin.
Was it a summer fling with this mini bike?
No, it was.
Years?
It was years. And
I had no
really,
idea that
it brought in all of my friends and relatives from.
they wanted to ride.
I lived in Williamstown. I had my dear cousin Fred Windover, lived in South Williamstown, and he thought enough of me to ride his mini bike from South Williamstown over Stonehill on Stonehill Road, which was a dirt road,
You guys all traveled the
Down.
road there.
down through what we called the pond,
All right.
down Sabin Drive, no relation to Jay Sabin. Jay, how you doing, buddy? Down Sabin Drive, past the Clark Art Institute, largest collection of French Impressionist paintings in North America at the time.
Yeah, it's big with our guys.
It's crazy. Well, you guys.
Hey, next time you hit Stonehill Road, but there'd be
So anyway, he'd show up in my backyard. He'd have that twinkle in his eye.
You whistle? Get the whistle?
Let's go.
Were you waiting?
And
a little puppy
oh
before?
my goodness,
So how did you know?
it was a long distance call for him to call
I was
me
going
from
to
South
say,
Williamstown.
because
And
there
he's
was
like,
no
"I'm on
phone,
my way."
or no one could
And so-
text you and say,
And so
jump
I'd
out.
wait there, and how cool was that? And we take off through the backyard, through a private school, Pine Cobble School. I think it's the town library or dump now. But anyway, it's we go through there. Up Sabin.
You're on the back of this mini bike, or you're together?
No, I'm on the back.
Oh God!
Oh, it was
really?
awesome. Well, that was my introduction. But
all right, I'll give you that, but not twice.
Oh my goodness, it was great. And really, that started me off on
mechanics, right?
begging, borrowing, stealing, whatever it took to get a mini bike.
Yeah. And your parents wanted any part of it? Hell no, right? Maybe your dad.
They
I know
didn't,
your dad.
They didn't
Donnie,
say no. They let me do it.
well, they had maybe gone through enough with all the other kids, but
So so I get these hand-me-downs for my brother, who's
pretty cool hand-me-down.
buying cool stuff. I get his motorcycle, his moped, his mini bike. It was awesome. And so it was like a solid frame, no working suspension,
rigid frame they call them, right?
Probably a Bridge and Stratton engine.
Sure, right? Because that's what it was, either Briggs or Stratton or Tecumseh. Yeah, pull starter. Yeah, it was cool.
That was
And did yours run often, or did you find yourself working on it most of the time, or trying to get it started? That was half of it.
Really, when you're a kid that age, and
You
you've got a
break
mini
stuff.
bike.
You break it.
Well, you break it, it doesn't run, whatever, but you'll stay up
Yeah.
for 3 days straight to get it running.
We actually
'Cause-
talked about that. It was like part of the fun was just the fact that you'd all show up and maybe 2 out of the 3 would run, but inevitably 1 out of the 4.
Nah, but I always found that if you take the spark plug off and you dump gasoline,
You're big
in
on
it,
that, huh? That's the cure-all. It's kind of like what do they call that? The neosporin of injuries.
It's kind of like the first aid.
Well, you know what? I knew that. I knew you had it. I knew that you were a mini bike guy.
You know,
deep down.
I was good. I never chipped a tooth. I never got hurt.
You never bought a bigger bike? Like you never went to a full-size motorcycle?
I went to bigger bikes.
You rode them, but did you buy them?
Well,
I mean, I know like you've ridden
I
some
did.
of mine, for
No
example.
one gave them to me.
Well, you rode some of mine. That's what I was saying. I didn't know if you rode or...
No. I had a motorcycle all through college.
Wow, that's
but,
sketchy.
In Boston, and what the point is, I always knew my limits. I never got crazy, and there was a guy in our town who could do a wheelie for like 4 miles. It was crazy.
I had
He
one.
had long hair.
Ziggy was my guy.
He was, and
My guy had no teeth.
He'd be like walking to school, and he'd like do a wheelie.
And also, Peter, that same guy, Ziggy, who did the wheelies, he was the guy that did the endless burnouts. And you hear the story, oh, what happened? Well, I tried to beat the train on the train tracks. Oh, Ziggy didn't quite make it that time. I did a hell of a wheelie. No, I wasn't that guy either. I wouldn't go crazy.
So I was, I always thought I'd get arrested because
you knew you were going to get arrested.
well, but we weren't on like a street or anything, but we were on a dirt road, and it wasn't my dad didn't own that road. So I always thought that I was running from the cops.
No.
And
well, you may have been
never-
poor, but you were hanging out in rich people's backyards if you had like a back area with grass.
I
Most of
never-
ours,
well,
that
I
was
never got arrested I never got arrested
No.
in this country, but for riding a mini bike or a motorcycle, and
That's a
because
good
I was
thing.
always just very laid back, just
Well, look, they
never got never got too crazy because
what were they
nobody
going to
wants
do?
to get
The worst
arrested.
they would do is take away your mini bike. So, that's the worst part.
well,
of
it
it.
wasn't
Even-
my mini bike; it was my brother. So, it just. But who wants to go through that hassle? So, I've got really fond memories of riding mini bikes.
Well, like I think it's true for all of us. That's what gets us started with our love for cars too. Because whether it's a spark plug to a battery,
Well,
or,
that's exactly the point. It is something that
a launching
that
pad, or
young people get involved in, and then it turns into a passion, not just for mini bikes, but for motorcycles and cool cars and personalization. And it really is that first step for a lot of us.
Yeah.
Probably before that, it's Hot Wheels or some other
you're right.
cool thing.
I bet it is Hot Wheels
But how cool
or
of
Tonka
it.
trucks. Those are the ones, right?
For all, they're expensive, but it's
But it was unlike none of those, including the Hot Wheels, really could give you that feel when you fired when you pulled that Briggs and Stratton. Peter, you knew that was magic when you fired that up.
Hey, Joe, so who are we going to give a few shout-outs to?
Well,
Who do we got?
a couple things. I'd like you to stick around and actually.
Well, let's give a shout-out.
Let's give
Go ahead.
Let's
Let's give a shout-out to Jim Savis.
Well, I heard you on the phone with him today. In fact, you were a busy beaver there today. You had Chad from Bank Shift.
Oh,
The other day you were there. You know, he's living the life.
He was like, hey,
he's like the
Peter.
modern day Gray Baskerville, isn't
Well,
he?
listen, he was like, hey,
Doesn't he
Peter,
mind
I
you?
remember being with you on the Hot Rod Power Tour. I was like, okay.
Yes,
Thad.
no,
He
you
was
did it
like,
well.
No, not that. Chad. Okay,
No,
whatever.
you know.
But he was like, yeah. He
exaggerating.
said, Peter.
I
You came
remember.
up to me and you said, hey, what do you say about having your station wagon at the SEMA show?
I remember that. That was.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm talking to Chad, and I'm like,
That started those guys
I was
off
like,
with
Chad,
the National.
Bank Shift. I mean, they're huge.
Yeah.
They're huge, and it was cool to connect with him and see him working with my colleague Della Domingo.
No, all good. I saw
And
him
to
there.
have him in the office because he's part of the fabric of this industry. He's
He's a perfect thumbnail, right? He's a guy that would do it,
self-made,
and he would do it if he would lose money each post. If you go to the blog, in fact, I'm glad you brought him up because you do a nice job always of introducing me to people, and you, like me, many times are so anxious to make sure everybody knows each other that I'll introduce people to others that they've known longer than me.
Please.
So that happened to us today, and it was good to see him. And he said, "Sebergandio, dude, I thought of you the other night." It's like, what time? I thought of you the other night, dude, because we just uploaded a bunch of cool photos from a mini bike event, and I jumped in and said, "We're in Texas," because those guys have been riding out there in Texas around the trail. He goes, "No,
Oh, I've seen Max Grundy, and I don't know if Ed Tilrock was out there or not, but I know Max is posting about he's suiting up and we're getting ready for the vintage mini bike
dun, dun.
races. It's like, Max,
Can you imagine Max Grundy on a mini bike? This guy's like huge. His
no,
beard
he's
was.
like 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Max.
Well,
But-
I wanted to bring him up. You keep doing it. That's great. You're giving me these big softballs to hit. Max Grundy. You've worked with all those guys. I've got some nice opportunities for folks to check out visually. We got some photos that we're going to upload. You'll be able to see them on YouTube. Chip Foos and working with Ryan and working with a lot of guys that may have had a spotlight way before they got around SEMA, but when they came into SEMA, boy, that really worked for all of us. You've been in there from the beginning working with these guys, and that's so cool. And Max is one of the current examples of guys that have kind of come into that situation. Here's a guy that he's a hot rodder. He's a really a world renowned style artist, but I didn't know about him like I'm sure many
Joe,
people. But
I feel like the Forrest Gump of the automotive industry. I feel like I'm this guy who, is here for whatever path, whatever reason I'm here, but it's not because I'm a race car driver. It's not like I'm
trying to get your car in a magazine.
car
builder.
I've never had a car in a magazine.
You had that chance one time, but
Well, no,
it would have been the first Volvo
I'm
in hot rod,
really-
so it probably wouldn't have gone. Yeah.
I'm really fortunate to be a part of this crazy, cool industry.
You're air traffic control.
And I'm a part of it. And
You're air traffic
I get
control.
to work for people that really care about something that is important. They're passionate about it, and
times 10.
and
They're
there's
passionate.
this industry of like who's the coolest person in high school? It's a guy who has a car.
Yeah,
It's
right.
a girl who has a car.
Yeah, I'm Steve
Who's
DeMola.
Who's the coolest one? Who has a car? Well, I work with people who 90% of them, they were the first ones in high school to have a car. And they turned that passion for their car and performance into a career, into a business. And their businesses employ millions of people, not only in this country, but around the world. And, I'm a part of that. I got to work for some great magazines with great people like you. And we're still here, man. We're still doing this cool thing. And, the mini bike, for a lot of us, was that first step from playing with Hot Wheels to really doing something amazing.
Yeah, that's why I said that first time where you got on it or you felt it. I feel the same way, Peter.
And I'm looking at this. Dave Freiberger. I mean, when did we meet Dave?
It's a long time, man.
Dave was working for Jacobs Electronics, I think, out of Texas.
He was working for Anita Matthews. It's Anita again, Peter. I remember.
Steve Arndt,
God bless
you know?
Steve Arndt. Hey, Steve, what's happening with Jacobs? They run. I don't know. It's Anita again. No, God rest her soul. And probably is too. That guy used to freaking chain smoke Marlboros. Steve Arndt, if you're still watching us, and if you're in sad enough shape where you're watching this, dude, we love you. Yeah, David Freiberger, him like us. 80s, mid 80s. We met David. He was over there. How he, thank God. However, he found Peterson Publishing Company. Because he is, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves with him either, but my God, I can't even, you touch that thing, it literally is on fire with the things he's doing. And he's always been there for us,
Well, and listen, it's, sure.
He's just another example, isn't it?
He's passionate, it's in his blood, but he's also a genius.
Yes, I saw what he did with our Minibike video. 3 million views, Peter. Minibike Mayhem.
Listen. Freiberger's a genius, and to be able to be here with you, who works with Dave day in and day out, but to have been privileged enough to work with him in the magazine business.
Well, how about to see him on fire now, where everybody's like,
also to see him at SEMA, our annual trade show, where he's working the show, he's participating in things like Battle of the Builders.
Did a great job on that. I saw that on Velocity. That's still running, incidentally. It's still the show runs.
Oh, sure.
The show will run through. Will it run through the SEMA show?
It'll
through the summer. If you haven't checked out the SEMA show, you got to check it out on Velocity.
But,
Sorry,
Dave Freiberger is he's one of these people that that populate this industry and energize this industry. Man, he's a phenomenon.
And he's another example of a guy who would do it and pay to do it, and thank God now he's and thanks to 10 for giving him, within a corporate environment, it's really tough to, you may be like, you and I have been publishers, or you've been way beyond that. You've launched magazines. I've been a
subscriber.
I've been my prescription done run out, Pete. But we all know that a title is one thing, but actually be the guy up there every month at 11 o'clock at night on the 30th, making sure every dot is dotted and every photo is at the right side, and closing magazines.
Every I is dotted and every T is crossed.
But that's the guy.
He's come on, and that's this industry is full of magical.
They didn't get paid a lot of money, those guys.
Oh,
either.
He's killing it.
They didn't. They didn't.
How many cars does he have? He's got 300 cars.
So we all used to joke, like, what's he doing with all those cars over there? It's like, little did we know. Right, all those cars he was buying for $1,200 on Craigslist, $150,000. I was lucky enough because I got the 51, the Fleet Line.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, you got. Well, look, he's a good friend of yours. Maybe you can parlay it. I want you to. How are we doing on time, Emmanuel?
We're at 35 minutes right now.
Oh, good. So we've got some time. At some point, Peter, here's what I'd like to do. I love the fact that we can wing all this because there's far from a structure here. But I was excited about, and I've even mentioned it in the other show, that the power sports section at the SEMA show is kind of like an in for us little mini bike weirdos. To me, it was always, it's like, well, you used to be nice enough to let me bring one in, and I'd cart it around the show office, and I just wanted to have a slow. But if you look back at the magazines, Motor Trend, Hot Rod, Carcraft, Rod and Custom. If you look at any of the old magazines, many of which I know you've looked at, many of the photographers all had a companion mini bike. Guys like Eric Rickman, guys like Gray Baskerville. If you look
Baskerville?
Baskerville, you
said, didn't he say Baskerfield?
No.
Yeah,
well,
he did. See,
well, he's always supposed
to
say yes.
It's Baskerfield.
Gray,
Gray, who spent the majority of his life like 4 miles from here.
Right, a neighbor.
I don't think he'd appreciate Baskerfield.
Well, if it was Baskerfield, I apologize. Gray Baskerville, mini bikes were right alongside them. And when I see him in the magazine now, I used to say him to Dave, say, hey, Dave, do you remember this?
Gray would probably drive them.
Drive them
out at Bonneville.
That's where the photos were. You're exactly right. That's where the photos were. And,
sure,
and manufacturers had
Bonneville Salt Flats in Wendover, Utah. It's...
Yeah.
You think El Mirage is big? Bonneville?
Yeah. How about Freiberger is a member of the 200-mile club on that? Like twice? I wouldn't go 200 miles an hour. It's like, but you were aware of that because SEMA was a big part of it. The weather's really been an issue there with the rain.
Well, there's a lot of issues with the salt flats, and what's great is
You've done a lot to help it out. Thank you.
Well, there's a lot of enthusiasts that have gotten together who are protecting this heritage, and this
so.
is something where that I think Bonneville, if it could claim a big portion of inspiring millions of people and generating hundreds of millions of dollars over the last 5 decades for this industry. And so to let something like that go away,
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
is tragic, and it needs to be protected. And really, it's a good segue to what's going on in this industry with the RPM Act, which is
Yes, we've been making that. We've been banging that gong.
it's amazing, and for me personally, to be this close and see how the EPA included some language that impacts this industry.
Could you catch some of the folks up who may not be familiar with RPM, please?
Well,
Just to give them
there had been, and it's that chapter has turned, but there had been some language in a law that would essentially outlaw your ability to convert a vehicle with a VIN number, any vehicle with a VIN number,
Okay.
any vehicle that is certified
my 51 Chevy.
does it have a VIN?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So any vehicle that is certified to be on the road, if you convert it to a race car, you do things that take it out of compliance,
Yeah, modify the chassis or swap the engine or
it's has more to do with and everything to do with emissions. But if you change the certified status of that vehicle for racing, and you only race it, you trailer it to a racetrack, you're
Could it be an air filter?
no.
Okay, just curious.
Because in most cases, I don't know of an air filter that changes the emission certification of a motor vehicle. But if you do headers,
Exhaust,
for example,
For example, a catback system or something.
just for the track, you're breaking the law, and that was the issue for the last couple of months, and that language has actually been removed. But the government agency that is working on this now claims that they have authority to regulate vehicles that just go on racetracks. Vehicles that just go on racetracks.
No.
That's not our understanding. And so we want to work and enlist everybody to help us protect our ability to race with the accessories and with the performance mods and the safety mods that
the parts that improve the vehicle's
that this
handling,
industry
right?
Provides. We want to protect that right to be able to do that, and so that's what the RPM Act is all about. And there's a lot of ways that everyone can get involved, contacting their lawmakers and just letting them know that we understand the difference between road and track.
Okay.
And this is about track use, and we should be able to innovate. We should be able to push the limits in a controlled, safe environment on a racetrack
To enhance the performance and the handling and the safety.
There's been a lot of accessories that have enhanced the safety and performance and efficiency of vehicles.
We demand it, Peter.
And so, it's just one of those things that's worth protecting. And for all of us who are a part of this and who understand it, we all have an obligation to make our voice heard.
Yes.
And,
thank you for leading that pact. I don't have anywhere near, I think it's me and the few guys that are in the garage here, but I shared that immediately. And I noticed a lot of guys that are within my little circle of friends on Facebook, they all shared that with a little note encouraging folks. There may still be some folks that aren't aware of it, and that's why I wanted to make them.
There are a lot of people who haven't
made a stand, or maybe
Well, they haven't written that letter.
How
And
easy
we
is
make-
it, Peter?
yeah,
What do you
no.
do? You send an email, right?
It's
Just an email.
SEMA.org /
Is there like a title they
RPM.
should probably put on there on the subject?
No, we've got a template that does all of that for you. But
Oh, great.
really, what you do is you go there, SEMA.org
SEMA.org
/RPM
/RPM.
and you have access to this technology that'll find the lawmakers in your
Area?
in your
Great.
vicinity, and
Yeah.
and you fill out a little form and it fires it off to them.
Many of
And,
the guys that
heaven forbid, you call them up and you say, "Hey, I'd like to meet with you and talk to you about what my access to racing and my access to
I mean-
personalization on the track, what that means to me. If you have a business or if you're passionate about it, they work for us, and we're really grateful for the support."
Right.
That our government has had to this outreach and this voice that our industry has, because they have heard us.
Yeah.
And they're listening to us.
Many of them are performance or hot rod
Oh,
guys
sure.
too, right?
And now's the time to talk and to carry that message to them, because the overwhelming majority of them, believe it or not, are listening and will do the right thing if enough of us just articulate, just explain to them.
That's our style too.
What's going on?
We're not a
So-
loud, argumentative group. There's a lot of coolness to us. There's a lot of history to us. This is a genuine thing that we've got going on with this aftermarket, and we're not maybe what could be looked at as a stereotypical hot rodder. You know the fact that many of the guys that are into some of the cool things that we are car wise, they're pretty cool people. They're pretty strong people. So thanks for sharing that, because I would not have had that in a little docket of things to talk about, and I think that's probably one of the most important things we could have talked
but
about.
I just want to know, and I'm sure all the viewers are.
Well, that's only the three of us.
They're wondering.
Yeah,
but
it's the two of us.
How come you got the cooler microphone?
I tell Emmanuel,
No,
say,
listen.
look, when
It's the same microphone.
when the
No,
guests come,
come on.
when the guests
I was
come,
going to say that earlier.
particularly when the guests,
Right.
particularly if it's Jake or Peter, please give
What?
them the best of
What's
everything.
going on, Joe?
We'll swap.
What
We'll
does this
swap
do?
seats. Hey, look, you got the gloves.
Cross them over.
So you've let me come into.
Is this thing on? Is this thing?
Did you get a CRC bottle opener? Thank you. All right. Anybody see? It fits right in the pocket. Oh, very good. There's an application.
Oh, it's cool, Joe.
I would like to bring some of these cool mini bikes. Peter, look over there. Look over here. Look at this. Look at this chopper. Look at the chopper behind you. Look at these engines with Kickstarter.
Are you saying goodbye to me? Is that
No,
what's
no,
going
no,
on?
no, no, no. I'm telling you really why I want you here too. Is I'd like to kiss the little ass here, because I'd like SEMA to be a place where maybe we could have more than me rolling up with my little mini bike and sticking it in the show office. I hope that within the power sports section, I know it's inside in the upper south hall, and it's
What's up with that leopard jacket up there?
that is
what's going on with that?
that's the Pimpin' Ho 2010. Are you trying to steal the? I'll give you one
it's
for the
just-
gift.
These lights are killing me.
That's not a light. That's like the flashlight off my cell phone.
No, it's warm.
You're trying. That was like a bait and switch. You
No,
did the.
no,
You
no,
did
no,
the.
no.
Yeah, you tried to get me on the
Listen,
pimp jacket.
Diane and I just bought a rug that looks
It's like
just
I'm
like
from New
that.
York. He's trying to. I actually had one. So Tim's suggestion was to take that. Will you please put it on the table? He wants me to put this, Emmanuel, wrap it around. Jake, maybe you can help. Show him the tin, please. Show him the tin.
What tin?
The one that you stole. Thank you. Can we wrap that around the propane tank on the front of my trailer?
Sure.
And get rid of that blue rhino decal. Emmanuel, that blue rhino decal on the propane tank looks so.
How much did Tim pay to have this done for you?
This, I'm sure, was probably like $2.18
No,
for him.
please.
For him. Ask the next question. That's what he paid for it. Ask what I paid for it.
That's what I did ask.
Well, that's why he's in the Bahamas right now. And I ordered way too many of them. But he does have a good idea. You can keep the roadkill. Peter, within the power sports section there, which I understand now there's even less of an opportunity for me, because now you've got people doing more things there. There was a time where I actually could have gotten in power sports. Now there's no room. But mini bikes, they don't sell kits. There used to be 200 people selling kits. Now there's maybe one or two. Joe from Taco, there's maybe one other company, Little Indian. Other than that, all the 200, Peter just got down to 2. So maybe guys like me and Jake could get into the manufacturing
Joe,
business.
Come on.
right?
The SEMA show.
And if I wanted to do that,
the SEMA show is the largest annual gathering of small business in America. It's the largest annual gathering of small business.
we're small business, right,
on.
Jake?
That's right.
It's us. We're
The
small.
show is about
It's not just for the big guys.
no.
Can I get in? Can we sell our mini bike kits there?
Small business is in our DNA. We're all
right, then.
Have been built by and certainly have an obligation to helping small businesses stay in business year after year after year.
We got
And
life.
this marketplace that's represented by the SEMA show is all about guys like you.
Good.
Guys that come in that have big ideas that they're passionate about, that they want to bring them to market. And so, by all means, you shouldn't be overwhelmed by the cumulative size of the show.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's not about that.
Right.
Because the show is occupied one 10 by 10 booth at a time.
You mentioned the show in Dodger Stadium, right?
Sure.
Who was there? Edelbrock and Iskandarian. Many of these guys are still at the show, right? You know, Hooker and Holly and Wyand. These guys that started off under that stadium, if you go to Las Vegas now, 2016, they're still going to be there. You've seen it enough times where if you put the effort in, you'll be successful in this industry. And I that's why I felt about the mini bikes. Like I look at the mini bikes, there's two pieces to it, Peter. There's a frame and a neck. It's like, well, there's a lot of folks that do that in our industry already. Maybe an exhaust company, for example, who are bending tubes. Gee, an engine, there's 4 bolts to plug it in. Many of our companies that exhibit at the show have engines, seats, shocks, brakes, grips, cables.
Tires.
It's all right. Same thing.
Oh, yeah.
So I know that there was a risk, and no one wants a risk nowadays. But gee, if you sell anything that I guess could put something in motion, there's a little bit of a risk. I'm down with that. You know, I feel it, and that's the passion that drives most of the companies there. We've got that. So in that power sports section, some of the time I've been lucky enough to be a part of it. What's it been there? 5 years now? 6 years? Power sports?
Oh, sure.
Okay. It's like I knew it because of the Grom, right? Or because of the new Polaris UTVs, or many of the other Hondas or Arctic Cats, right?
Yeah.
So now you've got it going. In fact, we brought up Arctic Cat. What are they doing at the show this year?
It's awesome. Not only are they participating with a formal booth, but
that's like what's the formal booth?
A formal booth at a trade show is an area where you've got products on display, but basically it's that meeting point where you're doing business with a buyer.
Yeah, unlike a consumer show,
It's
right?
not a buyer that buys one at a time. Buyer that buys container loads at a time. That's
Yes.
a buyer. And that's what separates a trade show from a consumer show.
Got
And
it.
both of them are very, very important to the ecology and the commerce of the industry. But I do trade shows, and I'm all about connecting manufacturers with buyers, trade buyers, and working with media to
Let the buyers know, right?
let the world know
Sure.
about all the great products from the industry and all the cool stuff that is coming through the pipeline. So when you've got a company like Arcticat that's a blue chip company,
Huge, and they're a
the
leader in that industry.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got
They
a
also,
booth.
they also made really cool mini bikes.
Sure.
With the leopard seats. Anyways.
So they're supporting the show with a traditional booth,
Yep.
but they've also bought into the notion of how important an interactive trade show is to the industry, and they're going to be doing some
Butts in the seats. You get
some ride and drive.
Oh,
Sure.
there you go.
It's and
Nice.
And I've got Bud Brutzman who's working with us on this, and he's got big ideas. He's building ponds that
Sure.
these vehicles can drive through, and jumps and all kinds of crazy stuff.
You're
And,
talking about the Baja experience of the Score off-road
sure,
deal.
the Score Baja 1000 experience at the SEMA show, where they do the qualifying for the big race in Mexico. It takes place in Las Vegas, and you can come out and see it.
You can come in and see it literally for
And
free.
you don't have to go to Ensenada anymore to see the qualifying. You just go to Las Vegas.
You
And,
do both.
Well, you can do both.
Yeah, I'm a little
And
bit too
they're-
old to, but
Well, but it's it's really cool to see that stuff.
Oh, it's such a natural fit, Peter.
Good shot.
We had, like I said, we had one of the comments we got back from the show last week was, "Good show, mad crickets in the background." Thanks for that.
I got one.
Your T-shirt's in the mail.
Just got one.
No, it's all starting to happen. You know, come on. It used to be cars out. It used to be trucks on blacktop. Now there's, Mike Sky Ranch is, brought back to life out there, and there's trucks jumping over, 20-foot mountains, and it's just dynamic. It's dynamic. It's going out there. So to have an Arctic Cat ride and drives on there, I'm going to go out there. In
It's a lot of fun.
Well, look, we're going to take. How are we doing on time now?
Exactly 1 hour.
Great. So here's what we're going to do. Linda made some sausage rolls, so get in there and get a little bite. I'm going to
Thanks,
take
Joe.
care of a little business here. I'm going to have Jake join me in a little bit, and I've got a couple more things I want to talk to you before you leave. Can you stick around maybe and come back before?
Oh, yeah. Well,
All
it
right, good.
depends.
Well, I'll make it light. Peter, really what it has to do is how some of these guys who are into the mini bike world, many of them are young guys. You know, they really are. And many of them are old, and I'm an example of that. But if you look at the Grom, maybe compared to the old mini bike, the Grom attracts a different guy, Peter. He's a guy that could be, he's like, how old is Brian? Like, Brian, although he's a bad example, he's an old bastard. But guys in their 20s and 30s, Peter, this is it to him. Sure. And these are guys that are really kind of finding their way.
Sonny.
Yeah, Sonny over at SEMA. I will mention his. Yeah, Sonny's a big guy in that world. He loves it. But many of these guys are young. Yeah, they're.
Hey, Joe. Joe's Minibike Reunion
Yeah,
is Saturday, October 1st
it is.
this year.
It is.
right?
Will you come? Yeah, I know you haven't had a chance to make it yet.
I feel like I've been to every one, but
You're the reason why I got it started, actually.
is it still here in La Crescenta?
It is, but these guys know all that. That's really why I wanted you to come back, because I wanted to talk about some of the things
Okay,
that
I'll
you've
come
done, that have helped me out, but I also wanted to let these guys know how they may be able to find a path in our automotive aftermarket, and maybe some tips that you've got.
Okay.
Yeah, good. So thanks. You can take off your headphones there.
continued.
We're going to take a quick little time out for those of you guys who may be watching on Periscope. I doubt if you are, but if you are, thank you. And we're going to be back not only with Jake Moe. That's going to be fun, but we'll also see if we can get Peter back for a few more minutes before we close out episode number 3, Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. Thank you for doing whatever you're doing.
Joe's Minibike Show.
I love that.
Who is that?
That's Aaron. That's Emmanuel's junior. You'll see him at all of the shows setting up. In fact, he probably put all this stuff out, helping his dad. He's the coolest cat. He lives across the street. And we will be finding him a mini bike, and it's going to be what color is the blue for scleroderma?
It's teal, green.
All right, so we got to think teal. I know you're a raw guy, but thanks for pointing that out. I told Emmanuel when I first saw that, it's like, shit, that was worth doing this whole thing just to hear that.
It's the perfect touch.
Oh, it is.
Good.
It is. And hey, thanks for popping back over. How was the sausage roll?
Awesome. Amazing.
You ate enough? Christ. I made the mistake of
You go
asking
back
if you
for
want-
seconds.
Seconds. Yeah, Jake, thanks for rolling over. Hey, before we start, last week we had a chance where folks could ask questions, and it was our buddies out of Central California. A little prize pack of items, and I had so much stuff that I tried to stick it in this little box, and there's like air filters and decals and patches, and I wanted to fit in, like I couldn't even think about fitting in the Roadkill magazine. And then I started getting some cool things from our sponsors. CRC, which everybody knows about because we all love that stuff. They also have Stay Lube. And Stay Lube, for you old guys, you probably remember this. This is just like one of the coolest products out there. So I'm lucky enough to have access to some of them. So we're going to stick all this
You
as
have the
well.
can?
Oh, yeah, we got the can as well. In fact, you've got one.
Yep.
Hopefully.
I do.
I've got the other one, but I keep it inside.
Nice.
It wasn't easy for them to find those old retro cans. I think
Yeah.
you've got the open one.
Yeah, there's a price on it too. I was like, man,
How much was it? Was it
like $100.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, imagine how much the unopened one.
Opened, yeah.
So I need a bigger box. But Ian, brother, and I keep loading shit in here. If I were you, like, check this out. If someone said, look, Ian, I'm going to send this thing out to you this week.
Good pack.
Or if I say, hey, look, Ian, I'll tell you what. There used to be this program called Bozo the Clown that you used to watch. And he had this toy box. And sometimes, you give the toy box away, there'd be a couple toys in there. Sometimes, dude, like it had been festering and there'd be like 50 toys in there.
Where's the Ian at?
Ian is like Bakersfield Central. I think you can meet, or you talk to him on Facebook.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Love the guy.
Nice guy.
So it's like, Ian, here's what you need to do, brother. It's like, wait, I'll fill up a damn. See that garbage can, Jake? You know me. We'll fill it up. By the time I'm done, there'll be a mini bike in there. But I've got you. I'm brewing up a gift for you. But I also want to say thanks to Dennis Thomas. Dennis Thomas is one of our few podcast listeners and fans. And, Dennis is, he's lucky enough because he owns his own company. So he gets to watch these long podcasts during the day at work because he's the boss, right? And he likes anything mini bike related, and he likes to think of himself, and rightfully so, as a mini bike aficionado. So he's been watching our show, and he says he likes it, and he would like us to add more photos of mini bikes, because that's really what, when you check out mini bike shows, I don't know about you, you're waiting for the ones that you like to come up.
Oh, yeah.
Just like if you were like a Mustang guy when they were talking about cars, or you're going through a magazine,
You're waiting for it. You want to see them. Yep.
So we've got to do more of that. And he also asked for me to. I love that sign. It's like, really? He also asked if we would list more websites. Yeah. I love that vote of encouragement. Yeah. Yeah, when your guests are giving you this going to sleep sign, you know what that means? They just want to get back on the seat. Oh, yeah. See, he's a polished veteran. He's going to bait me now. He's going to pretend he's leaving so I can beg him to stay. That means we're out of wine. No, you got to stick around, right? All right, come on. You're stealing the guy's mic time over here, and you're going to fall through that. Stop touching the lights. So we're, Dennis, we want to recognize you for your efforts as well. And I've got a prize package that I can grow for you. It'll include some items like this Stay Lube Brake Clean, as well as all the other stuff from Mothers and everybody else. So I've got something coming for you as well. If you'd like to, if you're watching on Periscope now and you have a question, this would be the time to ask it, because there's a good chance that you'll win something too. There used to be a time I had a radio show, and I had even fewer listeners then than we do now.
Wow.
And at one time, Jake, I offered anybody, I know it, right? It is amazing. You didn't have to react like that. After 3 pieces of sausage roll, I get that out of you? Yes, you were, Peter. I offered $10 to anybody who would call in that was listening to the show. I didn't probably have the money to pay. Well, the guy behind the window, the radio producer, he's pounding on the window and he's giving me the signs. And I thought he was going to come out and kick my ass for doing it, but no one called. Just to prove my point. So at least we know that no matter what, if something happens, we're going to be fine. This is me giving the drum solo or something over here. What's going on?
It's a little
there?
off, huh?
Yeah, like a. So the reason why, what, Peter? Oh, you calling me now? Oh, who is that?
Better answer.
Hey, you're getting me on the. We're podcasting, Pete. See, that's what happens. People get on the chair, they lighten up, they have fun. That's the mini bikes, isn't it?
Yep.
So how'd you think it go with Peter?
With Peter?
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of awesome stuff. Yeah. Just all ears with him.
See what happens when you give him the Bali chicken? That's he's been in there during the break. He's been in there.
Cut it
Emmanuel,
He cut off our Periscope.
yeah, he's been
prankster.
He's on the Bali chicken.
Yeah.
Look I think my wife has too. He's calling my cell phone. Oh, guys, see what happens when you talk about mini bikes. But
Let's talk about mini bikes.
like that's going to be pretty cool. Like if I'm hanging around the show, I sometimes I won't get in the line. Like there's a thing called Ford Out Front there, where they let you do hot laps for all the cool cars. Okay. Imagine when you let, I don't know, 50,000 people know that if they have the credentials and they're appropriate, they meet the qualifications and they sign the release, you can test drive a Ford Mustang GT. Yeah, but I don't do that because I'm there working. And it's like I'm too cool for that. Although I want to drive them,
Right.
but like the ATVs, I would do that.
Oh yeah, it'd be fun.
Do you have one?
No,
The guys you hang out with, they into them?
not too many people. A lot of my buddies are into the Groms and Ruckuses.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have
Me
a few
too.
friends that they go all out with the Ruckus.
Yeah, they do the
Like,
extended
man.
frame.
Yeah, extended frame, lowered seat.
Yeah. You see the one
all
with
kinds
the-
of engine parts, custom wheels, brakes.
Dude, they're doing twin
anything you
turbos.
can think of. Yeah.
Well, I was down there with Mike from Nitrous Supply. I told you, right?
No. Who?
Mike from Nitrous Supply,
Oh,
Mike
okay.
Thermos. I did that little post, Nitrous and mini bikes.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
yeah, you said that's ought to be good.
Yep.
So we got to go there.
Definitely.
We got to take the little, and we were telling stories about how they used to pipe in the nitrous, and how the ways that they used to do it, and the ways they used to masquerade it, and how at the end of the race they just kind of toss something out the window and put their little saint face on. But those guys were wiring those cars and anything else. So now Mike Thermos, who's pretty much one of the pioneers of that segment, the nitrous,
Right.
He's got a kid, Johnny, and I'm doing my mini bike show last year, and there's Mike Thermos, the king of nitrous, at the show. So I started to think to myself,
It's too cool.
I started to think, well, that was cool of you to let him know, but I realized, well, no, I didn't do that. And he was there as well as a few other folks that we had all worked together with, and it was kind of like a homecoming. So I went up to him and said, "Hey, Mike, what's going on, man? Good to see you." It's like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "Oh, my son's into mini bikes." Like, "Wow, that's unreal. Well, thank you for coming." And he didn't get the connection still
Right.
that it was my show.
Wow.
And after the show, on the way home, I think it was his son who may have finally connected the clue that the guy that I was talking, that it was my show. So now his son's at the mini bikes, and I went down and saw him and saw what he's up to. And again, it's the same thing. The young kid getting started.
Oh yeah. Yep.
His dad's Mr. and his dad's got Ferraris and Vets, and his son's at the mini bikes to start off.
Yeah, it's cool to watch them follow those steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, every little thing.
So I've been wanting to get you over here to take this friggin' golf cart home.
Oh, yeah.
What is it? It's not a golf cart. It's really
like a-
what is it?
I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's really like
It's like a Disneyland type thing.
yeah, it's like a slot car almost. I used to do donuts.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I used to do donuts out in the street.
Oh, wow.
It's got a 5 horsepower overhead valve Honda.
Runs pretty good.
Man, that's why I want to give it away. I'm afraid I'm going to kill myself. Do you remember, Emmanuel? Was I tormenting you at the time when I was riding this thing in the street? Do you remember that?
Yeah, because I was asleep from an overnight.
So sorry.
Woke him up.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, I had it, and it had been left out because this was the spare
Okay.
at the Disney park in case any of the ones that were, the A team or the new team, if any of them broke, that was, and they never did because these things were known for. I was told that they're good for 10,000 hours.
Dependable, yeah.
Like, what's hours compared to like miles? I would think 10,000 hours be like 100,000 miles. Let's say, right?
That's quite a bit.
So this
definitely.
this has 10 hours.
Oh wow, brand new.
Yeah, and I got it from the guy that I got all these engines from.
Okay.
He came, it's one of those deals. Like I came across a friend. It's like, well, I didn't order a cart. It was left outside, so all the body was pale. It was like a mat, and I wanted to put a face on it and just clean it up a little bit, and that's what I did. We made a little windshield, but I don't want to say anything because I don't know how open it is, and I'd like it to be a little bit of a surprise. But if it isn't, that's fine too. But I want it out. I want you to have it. I want you to get it out of here. I want you to do whatever you got to do. But I'd like to continue to see the stories and the escapades that this thing does because I don't have a kid to live that through.
Yeah,
So I go,
exactly.
Now I know you. Congratulations! I didn't mention this earlier. Congratulations on the new addition to the house.
Oh yeah.
So what's that?
Thank
All? Yep, you're welcome. So congratulations to the whole family.
Yep.
What can you share with us?
Don't know if it's a boy or girl yet. Probably about 2 weeks, 2 more weeks, then we find out. We're not gonna wait till the last minute, but I want to find out as soon as possible.
Yeah. So there's
We'll see.
no downside on that.
No,
Right,
not at all.
and imagine your son having another little son to ride shotgun, or maybe
yeah.
to have a nice start. Well, congratulations!
Yeah, thank you.
That's going to be cool.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be good, and that's what it's all about, too, right?
Oh yeah,
So,
be fun.
you've got a couple bikes over at the garage.
Yep.
You've got Frankenstein, which I may have seen some posts, maybe not. I don't know if I saw anything on there or not, and I haven't checked in. I've been bad on that, but have you been wrenching? Have you been working on cars? I know that you mix a little bit of the work that you're doing on the bikes with your day gig.
Yeah.
What's it been like since the last show?
Been pretty busy at work. We're trying to get that truck done for that show I was telling you about for next month.
Yeah.
But I've definitely been in there working on it, probably a couple times a week, something like that.
Is it coming along?
So, oh, yeah. Yeah.
Good.
You'll be surprised. You'll get it. I'm probably going to give it back to you the same day I do the Pioneer bike, like June 1st. I'll just bring them both down.
Great.
Finished.
We were talking about like things where we're going to place the battery, or if we were going to capture like that old patina style paint.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was going to talk to you about the
what are you
finish
feeling?
and everything on that.
What are you feeling on that? You've had it enough now. Is there anything that you're leaning towards on that?
I know you had mentioned about doing like a patina look because it's for a roadkill thing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, where's the book? I think I may have stole a copy of it, but whatever, that patina style, that dull style, that roadkill style, without question.
Yep.
Although this is the 24-hour of lemons. In fact, you ought to compete in that too. But yeah,
it's fun.
Kind of the down and the dirty. All those were cool. The old Gremlins and the old Vegas.
Love those.
Back in the day. Something like that, because I think that it just lends itself to that. That's not a bike to paint, especially with what we're doing with the fairing and all that.
Yep.
Well, look, I had a chance. In fact, there was another person that we ran to during the space draw. We talked about seeing Chad from Bank Shift, but Ted from Pioneer was cruising the SEMA halls yesterday. It looked as if we had like the cool thing when you go to SEMA, particularly the SEMA garage, which you have to get to. You have to get to the SEMA garage. I know Diamond Bar is over the other side of the hill. Mm-hmm. It's worth the trip.
Okay, cool.
Drop down the 57, and it's literally right off the 57 and like the 60. There's a lot going on over there, and there's everybody's coming in and out of there. It's kind of like a nice little portal. You never know who you're going to run into, and there's a lot of social events there too that people aren't aware of. There's a car show or two. Many of the things that they do extend to charities and efforts that they have. Child Help, Victory Junction is an example of one of those things where they'll have a get-together with really cool cars, and all the members bring in their badass rides, 1,000 horsepower, twin-turbo diesel cars like Joe brought from PPE. It's like the Batmobile when George was still with us rolls up as an example. It's good stuff. So you get a chance to maybe do a little bit more of that. Cool. You get a chance to check that out. And what I was talking to Peter about was the fact that he's had a chance to get some people started. And this mini bike deal that you're doing, it's a work of art. It's good stuff. And maybe we'll have a chance to do a little bit of that. And that the raw bikes, that's it. The raw bikes is it. If you haven't been to the show, you get a chance to check it out. Roll along over there, and you're in that industry. You're building vehicles. You are a professional. So, and you should bring your business owner there for all the reasons he said.
Yep.
Because guess who's there? Brett from Air Ride or Ride Tech. All the guys that are doing the shocks, the brakes, you get a chance to go up there and do your deal. Plus, you get to bring the bikes out. Yeah. That's what I want to see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Excited for that.
Next week, Charles Mini Drag Bike.
Okay.
It's going to be here.
Awesome.
So you've had a chance to see some of the work that he does.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What would be something you'd like to know about when we've got Charles sitting in your seat? What would be some of the things that would be of interest from your end?
I know he was talking, I think 2 years ago when I was at the show, your Joe's show.
Right.
He was talking about doing the land speed, trying to hit 100. So I think he's probably going to be the one, associated with doing that.
Well, because he's building the motors, right?
Oh man, yeah.
So outside of the motors, he's going to do his job. He's going to build some of the nicest motors out there. It's more than that.
Oh yeah.
Right. It's and
kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Actually.
So what is it? What are the other things?
I don't know. Maybe we can get together. He can build a nice little motor. I'll build a nice chromoly, full bent, nice little bike. I'm sure there's some kind of regulations and specs that it has to meet.
Right.
But I don't know. Maybe me and Charles can
do a little hookup.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was hoping.
Talk to him a little
bit. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he'll be here.
Awesome.
He'll be here. And then I also talked to quite a few other folks. It's interesting. Once we launched the podcast, quite a few people popped up wanting to be on there.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to have David from West Coast Mini Bikes on here.
Yeah. Cool guy.
Yeah.
Goose still.
Yeah, Goose still around. So I reached out, and subsequently, many people reached out to us, which was really nice too for us. So we've got a pretty good dance card leading into the summer. I was trying to figure out with Emmanuel what we're going to do when it starts to get hot as hell out here.
So let's, you have
as
any updates for your show?
Yeah, we do. Thanks for asking about that. It looks like the dyno, at a minimum, I've got my same options I had last year. I was trying to improve. So there's a company called Dynajet.
Okay.
They're the guys.
Yeah.
And I also reached out to a place, World Racing. Those folks are really into high-end Lexus and Porsche and Mercedes high performance. They're local out here. Craig Paisley and Chris Rado. Well, they're the dyno kings for cars. That's
Okay.
where anybody who's got anything of substance. So I know those guys. Again, through kind of that circle Peter was talking about, all these guys have been in the industry forever, and now they're doing extremely well. And part of their deal is you roll up there, really cool shop. I mean, it's like one of those white glove, but dyno's it. So I reached out to them and say, hey, hook me up. I need the mini bike dyno hookup. So like a true hot rodder, Paisley says, well, I think we're going to have to get our hands on one for like a month. It's like, no, I'm not. You're not taking one of these little mini bikes for a month. It'll fucking explode. But so I'm hoping through either my outreach.
Wait, they want to take a bike?
Yeah. Imagine y'all bringing one of your bikes. You'd never see it.
You can take mine.
Yeah. So they want to just want to check it out. It's like, nah, just tell me where I can get a dyno. So I'm going to do that. All my sponsors are back, which was really nice. I don't know if you remember last year, but we had pallets of brake clean lined up, and I had a lot of stuff they was handed out. I'm talking to the guys who handle a lot of our novelties, and we're thinking of things that we may want to do, everything from like flip-flops to more kids' style stuff. You know, we had bibs and all that. I don't want it to turn into be a shit show where we're selling trinkets and trash, but
Too much crazy stuff.
the fact is people like it. You know, I tried those shop towels that I have, and, you know, I tried patches, all this traditional stuff. I rely on the guy, Tim, from, well, actually, he's got so many companies, I don't even want to pick one because he'll get pissed off, but I rely on Tim, not only as a supplier for a lot of the things, but he's been in the spirit of so much of what we've done. Like the seats we did for Pioneer. And the seats, he helped with the CRC bike, where I said, you know, I want to do something that looks like a NASCAR, Tim. What if I did like the net on the side of the seat? He's like, why would you do it there? He goes, you know, the net's supposed to be for safety. Put it in the front of the bike.
Yeah. It's on the bars.
Yeah. So like I'm running around
Bike came
taking.
out cool. I like that.
Well, it did, but like it burst my bubble. Like I'm thinking, oh shit, I got this great idea, dude. I'm gonna do the side of the seat where we do this net. And then, you know, he let me even finish my stupid idea. And then he just kind of calmly said, well, you may want to put it in a place where it's actually designed.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you why that was such a cool thing for him to do, is that I put it on that bike. Remember that Simpson net? Mm-hmm. Okay. Like you remember it, many people do. I just invested, and I'm doing business now with Simpson, and I bought 50 of them. And they're going to add my logo to it. So at the mini bike show, speaking of something new, I'm going to have a Joe's Minibike Reunion net. It's universal because, you know, you attach it with zip ties.
So Simpson makes it, but it has your logo?
Yes, it'll say Simpson. I'm proud that it does.
Yeah,
just
that's
have
cool.
my little branding on it as well.
Yeah.
Shameless self-promotion.
It's awesome.
I ain't doing any of this
Limited
shit, but-
edition.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're really turned into a promoter. Shit, you'll be doing your own show. So that's what I've got on this going new. One of the things that I got more excited about, like last year, I decided to try to give away $1,000. Not because I wanted to give away $1,000. As I look around that crowd, there's some folks that could use $1,000. Maybe if they just spoiled themselves and bought a mini bike, because that's all it really takes to have a badass mini bike, right?
That's right.
So I threw that out there for folks to vie for the top three. It didn't friggin' matter. It was almost like they reluctantly took the money. So I'm not doing that again, but I'll use that money, for example, to get a better dyno, or to give away more stuff in the goodie bag, or to be able to say to guys,
amp up the excitement a little bit.
yeah. And the thing is, we can't do too much because we can't ride.
Right.
So that's why when you tell me I'm bringing out 10 bikes, 3 that you've seen, 3 that you may have seen, 4 I know you definitely haven't friggin' seen, like that's a big thing for me.
Oh, yeah.
When Chip Foose let me grab his stupid mini bike off of his shelf and then bring it out there, that's a big thing. So little things,
That's awesome.
just like mini bikes, little things are big things.
That's right.
So, look, you're going to be back around. Just like Evil Ed was kind of joining us back in as co-host. It's a little bit of a ride for you, or a little bit of a drive, actually, because you didn't ride. You were driving.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, you're welcome. What else is there anything else going on your end? And then we'll let you get on your way back over there, getting ready for baby number 2.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that maybe we hadn't talked about last week that you'd like to update us on? And again, you've got an open door or open garage to roll in here anytime, Jake.
Yeah, appreciate it. Just the Thunder on the Lot. It's up there in Antelope Valley. It's June 11th and 12th, I believe.
Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, if I know it's kind of far for most of the people that listen to the mini bike stuff, but it should be fun. I'll bring some mini bikes and stuff up there too. We'll have some of the trucks and stuff that we've built in the shop, so good chance to kind of see everything that me and Cody do.
Yeah, good.
So
yeah,
I think that'd be
I'd like
fun.
to meet
Be a fun
Cody.
thing, yeah.
Maybe he can come down for the mini bike show as well sometime. That would be too.
Definitely.
Are there any?
He's excited. One of the bikes is going to be his. So.
Well, oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that one of the new ones that you're building?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that
and he'll
makes
kind of
sense.
have his hand on that because he's he's like that. But
You won't go with like a traditional engine on that. You'll go for more of like one of those drag motors, or what will you do?
he probably wants to ride it. So.
Oh, okay.
The drag motors, they're fun, but you can't really.
Well, maybe like the way I'm going with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That 5 horsepower.
Yeah, you just want something simple, probably like what's on Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Same type of thing, just simple. It has upgraded valve springs.
Yeah.
It'll have like a slide carb, so it runs a little better.
One last thing before you go, and actually I've been somewhat, I didn't know for certain. Most of the engine sizes are 4 horsepower, 5 horsepower. It wasn't as if there were a lot of 8 horsepowers or 10 horsepowers. There were more industrial applications. But it sure seems like that's what you need. To even get anything with a 3.5 is almost a joke, even in the mini bike world. What do you like once you get over a 5 horsepower predictable Briggs or Tecumseh? Are you going right to a Predator? Or what options are really out there before you get to that drag motor?
The Predator for the price, I mean, you can't really beat it because, you can put that thing on there stock and it runs pretty good. You probably do like 45, 50, just with a stock motor. But yeah, when you start stepping it up, I usually like to ride the bikes a little bit. The drag bike is hard to ride.
Sure.
It's usually all or nothing on
It's
that.
all vibrating too, right?
Yeah, when it's idling, it has the RPM range is like 5,000 RPM and up. So
too much.
Yeah, you can't really cruise it.
Yeah, that's why I like these little 5 horsepowers actually.
Yeah.
It fires up every time. It doesn't go too fast.
Some of my best motors have been just 5 horse Briggs.
Yeah.
Put like better valve springs. Maybe port them a little bit, put a better carb, and they run good and they'll rev high, and it's just a fun motor.
What kind of carbs do you like?
Like just like a Mikuni, like 22s, good for the
so
street.
I've got on that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because it meters the fuel and stuff at different positions of the throttle, so they run pretty good for like cruising around, like full RPM range. The Tillisons are kind of, most of those are, when you run a Tillison, you run them on alcohol or. They're a little more touchy. They're kind of harder to tune to.
Yeah, the Tillison, you definitely go right to a race application. At least you feel that way.
Exactly.
Well, look, one last thing. I asked Tim from Iski, to come as a guest. So maybe
cool.
he'll be with us with Charles here next week. So if you can't break out, make sure that you check us out on Periscope. And thanks for joining us too, Jake. Congratulations on the kid again. Have a safe drive back there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see if maybe you can wake Peter up over there and get him to join us. We'll
Get him back in here.
Yeah, we'll say goodbye. But thanks again for joining us.
Cool.
Mini bike builder, fabricator. Cool guy. Thanks again, Jake Moe. Thanks for joining us over here.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Hey, folks, like I said, we've had a few folks that have responded over the last couple podcasts here. I just want to tell you guys that really the spirit behind this podcast is for you guys to get involved. Go out and take a look at Craigslist like all of us do on almost a daily basis. Google mini bike and see what you find. Maybe you'll see something that you grew up with. Maybe you'll see something that you haven't seen. They're a few $100. You come home, you put a little gas in there, like Peter said. Make sure you put a little gas in the spark plug.
Steal it from your dad. It's no big deal.
You get that mini bike, you start it up, and you're going to do that.
What about that Jake Moe, huh?
Well, you know how I feel about the guy. I want you to help him out. I want you, this magic wand you got. You got to see the bikes. Once those bikes roll out.
I asked him, okay, you came over from Palmdale. What route did you take?
Like the 14 or something like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, to the, what's the...
The little drop down there, the little 210, 118, whatever.
No, the not the dirt road, but the little road that goes over the mountain.
Well, there's a lot of little fucking roads that go up.
No, there's one. Come on. When we went to El Mirage, we took a road over, and it wasn't the 14.
The 133, Peter?
I don't know. Is that it? Off
Yeah,
the
I think
2?
so. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
38.
138.
Oh, 138.
Yeah, yes. He didn't give that up? Oh, maybe he doesn't want you to know. He wants you to stalk him or anything. He's got to go
come
back
on.
home. No, I like him because it's usually guys that build bikes, they're accessible. Car builders, like you know, people see Chip Foose. I showed a photo of you and Chip Foose, like they're on him. Guys that are in our sport, still so approachable. And when you see his work, it's like, wow, that's like, people react like they do to Chip. It's like, wow,
Joe,
that's like amazing
Joe,
stuff.
I'm ready to go dialing for dollars. Who are we going to call?
Well, you already reached out to Jim Savis. Maybe you can call Tom Gattuso. He's earned a
No,
call.
you know, he's up early. He's
No.
working hard.
Hey, he has. He did a good
Not
job
that
today.
Savis isn't, but you know,
Well, Savis
I'll see
Savis
Tom
is-
tomorrow.
Savis
But
is working hard.
let's call John Cobb.
No, you do, and I'll turn out the pot. Just kidding, John. Hey, John, Peter wants to book you already for next year's SEMA show for
We
that
could call
podcast.
Savis. You want to call Sab?
No, so to answer your question about that, Jake Mo, what about that, Jake Mo?
What about that kid?
So he'll be at this year's SEMA show. Act like you know him when you see him this time, you know? It's like, hey, Jake.
J-Mo?
Hey, you know where you carved the turkey? The good lunch? Bring him to the good lunch room. And definitely Emmanuel's got to go in the good lunch room. All right, look.
Dude, your media.
You know, Emmanuel's done some good work. He's got the attention of the folks over at BCII, in fact, over his production work here.
Let's call Bud Brutzman.
He's in the Alps. Is he
No,
really
no,
where he's
he's not.
taking those photos? Is he there?
That's it's not the Alps.
It's Norway
It's,
or Iceland or
Everest. Mount Everest.
same thing. It's in Iceland, isn't
It's
it?
very tall.
And
It's tall and cold.
oh, I saw one of
Windy.
those ice picks. Somebody was
Sure,
going somewhere. It's
yeah,
like
that
forget
was
that shit. I'm
Greg
not doing
Glass.
That's
Ice
not-
picks.
That's Greg Glass going to the bank. No, shout outs. They're all over the place. I had Tom. I had Tom listed just because of what I've.
Tom who?
Tom who? Please. Tom
Tom
G.
G?
Tom G.
Tom
yes,
G.
man. Tom G. Shout out to Kaz. Shout out to Brian, Monica, all those folks that we've been with all week.
Monica.
Yeah. So it's going. And plus, we'll have a chance to.
Alan.
Yeah, Alan's on there
Alan.
too. Look at see Alan. I like him.
Alan.
Plus, Alan's like, I think he's taking Fridays off. Sorry, Alan. I'm going to bust you right now.
No, he's killing it.
He's taking Fridays off.
No.
You want to know how I can tell?
No.
I hate to bust it. I'm going to tell him right now. You know how I know?
Let's call Alan.
No, don't call him, because especially now after I bust him.
Who are we going to call?
Alan gained like 4 inches on his chest, and that's from surfing.
Oh.
And they know where you're getting enough of that surfing shit in on Saturday and Sunday, so he's taking off Friday.
Well, Jerome does not surf. Let's call Jerome. Let's call the Rome dog.
No,
we're calling Mikey.
We're done with the
calling
show.
Mikey.
We're done with the show.
No, we're calling Mikey.
Mike is stopped because he's sleeping. He's in.
He's in
Formula
Atlanta,
Drift.
yes.
All right, you
Well, let's come
Plus,
on.
you can't. We have a FCA.
They've got
we have
mini
FCC
bikes.
rules.
They've got mini bikes.
We have FCC rules. We cannot phone and harass people.
Atlanta.
Plus, as you can see,
Robledo.
down to 3 minutes.
Robledo.
As a
Come
result
on.
of what
Let's
people
talk
see
about
here,
shoes with
folks,
Mike.
Folks may
Our
want to
next
be.
segment is Shoes with Mike.
Folks may want to, Peter.
Shoes
get
with
into
Mike.
this.
Mike, tell us about your shoes.
Folks may want to
Are
get
they
into
sand shoes? Snowshoes?
Folks, you're going to lose the whole slant I've got on this, which is people wanting to be a
cute.
part of
It's
this.
going to be
You
cute.
can't call people up during the damn podcast.
He's in Atlanta.
I want kids to get inspired to be a part of what we're doing. You're going to scare them
Mikey.
off now.
No.
Huh? Mike's going to have a hooker in his room. He's getting married in a week. Hang up that phone. All right, anyways, we're kidding. Mikey, look.
Mike, come on.
The cell phone of
Yeah.
Michael.
Oh,
This is what happens when someone gets-
Please.
Hey,
Let's
see,
read
no,
his
no.
number out
No,
loud.
don't.
It's
Stop
213.
that. A promotional fee has been paid for. No. Hey, look.
We got to get one person on the phone.
All right. And then
Okay,
can we get
Ira.
back to the podcast? No, don't call it Ira. His
Ira.
wife will come over and grill both of us.
No, but you know what? Ira deserves it.
Ira does not deserve it.
Ira.
But he deserves a slap for wearing those fucking pants today. You just put that up. I've never seen someone wear
Ira.
pants that had the same feel.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh,
Linda.
Come on. All right. Who are we going to
All
call?
right,
Let's call Linda.
No, leave her alone.
Linda.
will you? Please. Come on.
Pick up the phone.
Hey, did you see her eyelashes? Have you seen her eyelashes? I hope you have. In fact, you better not have.
He's
Hi, hon. Love the eyelashes. I don't know how I missed those when I came
she's
in.
been out with Sandra. That's what happens when your wife hangs out with Sandra. all of a sudden,
Not everyone knows who Sandra is.
Eyelashes.
Don't mention last names either. In
All of a
fact,
sudden,
at this
eyelashes.
rate, I'm worried we haven't signed the friggin' release.
No, we
with
haven't.
This guy.
We
We have
haven't
not signed the release.
Did
and
we?
we're
Did
going
we try John Cobb?
Peter, please do
Let's
not call
try-
John Cobb. In fact, I have to stop you for a second. Did you get that email from late one night mentioning the loss of a friend of ours in Vegas? Stop
The
that.
person you are trying to reach is
Stop that.
It's
Please. Okay, stop.
these are all of our buddies.
These are
they're
your
busy.
buddies. I've asked
No.
you not to call
These
any of them.
people-
These are people you
these
know.
People are obviously busy watching this.
All right, let's go back to the power sports section at the show.
We got to start calling people that work for me. 'cause
You would never get past you to go on the ride and drive thing at Arctic Cat. You would never pass the test at this rate. I say people all the time say, "Well, what are you working now, Joe?" It's like, I'm not working. It's like two things. It's like, what do you do, Joe? I sell shit. And where do you work? I don't work anywhere. That's my thing because this is still fun. And even when we're doing our little shtick at the SEMA show and all those people who don't have credentials and they're out there looking in,
Paisley will
do
be
not
up.
call him.
Yeah,
Oh, he'll be up. Yes.
He'll be up.
In fact, call him. He could be
No,
good.
he'd be great.
He would be great. In fact, he'd have his own show. Don't call him. We'll lose this gig.
No, this would be awesome.
But he knows about the dyno.
Paisley.
All right. But we encourage folks
Paisley. Buddy.
because it is easy. If you see if us two idiots can stumble our way up to our own, is it podcast or blogcast? You know, that could be
It's
the name.
a blogosphere.
That there's a way, especially if you're interested. You really do have a skill.
Yo, Pace, how are you, buddy?
I'm all right. How you doing?
You're on the air, bud.
Hi, Craig. It's Joe and Peter here for the podcast. I'm sorry.
You're on the
called.
air.
It's unannounced.
Oh, okay.
Where are you?
Where am I?
Here's what happened.
Where are
I
you?
started telling about the event. Someone asked why it was different. I told them it was due to the dyno, having a dyno at the
He
event.
gave you a great plug.
I mentioned I was talking to you about the dyno. I made a tragic fucking mistake and mentioned your name. He stopped the podcast. The podcast is now stopped, and he's talking to you on the phone.
All right, perfect.
Yeah, for you.
So tell us,
Shop right now. That's where I'm at.
tell us a little about the shop.
Tell me.
Shop, the surgery that our shop has been going through. So our shop has definitely gone through a lot of changes in the last few months. Obviously, our biggest change is that
Little Richard?
new dyno we put in with our wind tunnel. That
It's a wind tunnel.
put a car on the dyno, and whatever speed it's going on the dyno, the wind over the car will match the same speed as the car.
What's it sound like?
He wants to know if you can like gauge a fart in this wind tunnel. He's out of control, Chris.
Come on. No, it's awesome.
It's not Chris, it's Craig. Will you stop? Craig,
So what am I talking on right now? I don't understand. What am I doing?
none of us do, Craig. I have the little.
Paisley, tell him how you used to do wheelies down the drag strip at Englishtown
Well, actually,
in a
what really
Toyota.
happened was I had one of those magicians that can kind of make everyone think I pulled a wheelie.
No, I saw the picture. I saw the picture. I saw the picture on Facebook today.
Well, that was like another lifetime ago. Like, I don't even remember that stuff anymore.
Yeah, well, you don't remember because you flipped once, but come on, that was crazy.
Craig, what year was it when you were like dominating Naira? That was way before the Fast and Furious movies. What year was that?
99, 2000.
So, Craig, the listeners, they've been tweeting in, they've been calling in, the phones are lit up.
Not a one.
They
Craig,
want to
not a
know.
one.
They want to know. Is it Craig or Greg? Anyway, if you were going to be a Fast and the Furious character, which one would you have been? I'm thinking the bald guy. I'm thinking the bald guy from Jersey.
Vin Diesel.
Vin.
I don't think there was a character in the movie that talked enough shit to be me.
No.
No, I think, well, you were the Jordana girl because she was pretty feisty. But
Hey, Craig, tell everybody about. Yeah, I don't know how anybody can make like a van cool. How did you make a Mercedes van cool like in a month? Tell folks quickly what you did and talk us a little bit about how that went down.
Oh, the fire truck? What are you talking about?
see, exactly.
Yes, the fire
How do
truck.
you make a van cool? You turn it into a fire truck. Okay?
What were you thinking? How'd that go down? Give us a quick thumbnail. You got a call from Peter.
No.
Peter told me, Peter told me you got to check out the SEMA website. Mercedes is giving away 4 vans. You got to get a proposal in. They're coming to the SEMA show.
This is years ago.
I'm like, really?
Don't dial now. Don't call Mercedes. That was years ago.
Go ahead, Craig.
It was 4 years ago.
Yes.
So I go to the SEMA website. They have 4 vans available with a budget, and they have these ideas for a proposal for like submit a proposal for luxury limo, weekend camper,
golf cart.
Vehicle, all these types of ideas. So I'm sitting there like, well, I can't build a luxury limo. I don't have that kind of talent to do all like coach work.
No.
Or the time.
Like, what can I build?
What can you build?
On Island, we have these fire chief trucks. They're usually Suburbans. So I said, everyone loves firemen, you know? So I put this proposal together for the fire. And at first I didn't think we got it, but then they called me out of nowhere. They're like, what is this thing? So I gave them a spiel. I come from a long line of firefighters. And it comes down to it. We sent some proposal and everything that goes into it. And boom, we got the truck.
I remember.
We'll all remember the year Craig did a wheelie in English Town, and then the year that he scored a Mercedes for the
I
SEMA
remember
show.
being with you when he called. It's like, dude, I got it. It's like, got what? Got a Mercedes. Like, holy shit.
No, not only that, we're gonna turn it into a fire truck.
No, look, honestly, I told those guys, I wish they wouldn't call you because then I would lose the gig because people would want to have you as the host.
That's how bad I'm doing tonight.
No,
So I
hey,
need
Craig,
your help.
I am, you know, I was in a kind of an awkward spot, and this would be a great place to come out. There's a reason why I can't join you for the Met Dodger game. And
Why is it? Because I'm going.
Mike is getting married, and there's a little bit of a pre-wedding thing, so that's why I'm unable to go.
No.
Otherwise, I would be there. And it's my birthday was the next day, so I was hoping. So I told Craig I was going to go to the game. Then I had to tell him I can't go. So Craig, thank you for.
Paisley, is that the one I'm invited to? Or is that
you're
another
such
one?
a
I don't know. They must have some. They must have some secret before wedding party that no one else knows about.
Well, Peter and I were talking. Mikey, I hope you're not listening because we got like $5,000 in this friggin' wedding, and I haven't even got the belt and the socks and all this other shit he wants us to buy. But hey, that's another time, another story. Craig, thank you. You can actually hear yourself tomorrow or the next. Actually, it takes a few days on iTunes. It's Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast, or on YouTube, Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. It's going to be the Peter MacGillivray edition. Right there, prominently displayed there. And when you put it on your phone through your TV or your monitor on your car, you're gonna see the little logo. It's gonna look really cute. And I owe you lunch.
Hey, Paisley and I are going to Australia.
Wow, I just get to go to a Dodger game with them.
Yeah, we are going to Australia.
We're going to Australia.
Bring me back a crocodile.
No, we're going to get mini bikes when we're down there.
Hey, they're big into mini bikes there.
Oh,
they really
huge.
they're nuts over there.
That's what I heard.
We're going a day early. We're
right.
going a day early.
Hey, one last thing. This is selfish. Craig, I asked you about the dynos for mini bikes. You wanted me to bring you a mini bike. I'm not doing that.
No,
Can I
let's.
go do that?
No. Actually, we're going to do that tonight.
No,
No, everybody gets a mini bike. We're going to Paisley's World Motorsports.
it'll blow up. No, really.
No, let's go.
I thought maybe you had the hookup at Dynajet, so I didn't have to call over there randomly. I thought maybe there was because those guys, as I explained, are known for building dynos, and I thought that they would have the portable motorcycle dyno hookup.
Yeah, no, they have a dyno hookup for the dyno we have, but it doesn't make it portable. You still got to come to us.
We're
Well,
there.
it's kind of
All
tough
right,
to
we'll
move
see you in
the event.
about, what, 20 minutes?
Craig Paisley, World Racing, a good friend of ours. Well, used to be a good friend of ours. Actually, it's kind of like a cameo. Thanks, Craig. Hey, say hi to Chris Rado.
Craig.
Tell him to laugh it up.
Craig, you were breaking up. Where did you say you were going to?
Leave him alone. Leave him alone.
No, you're going. You're going to
meeting.
the Golden Banana. Is that what you said?
He has a meeting.
Okay.
It's kind of meeting.
Right. Okay.
Thank you, Craig. Love you.
I'll see you guys next weekend.
Yes.
All right,
see you.
Baze.
Oh, Christ. He's going too?
Of course.
Fuck.
Yeah, I'm going. That's
My
why
God.
I can't go to the Dodger game
When-
Wednesday.
All right. So,
I gave your ticket away to. I'll take pictures of who I gave your ticket away to, and I'll show them to you over the
yeah,
weekend.
thanks. Send me the bill. All right. I'll see you over there. Hey, from what I understand, we have to barricade the door when we get to San Clemente because the people they want to let in over there, I know those people. Do not let them in our cart or our train.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all right. Come on.
Oh, now I know.
Thank you. Bye, Craig. Thank you. See, that was fun, and that's what happens. The time goes by. We've got to wrap up, and I want you to. I want you to get back into that. The senator. I need you to get back into that because this is serious. I tell people that if they'd like to get a job in our industry, it's a piece of cake. All you have to do is start asking. I tell them to send applications everywhere. I've never seen a website that literally under classifieds in any industry where when you go there, there's real friggin' jobs. Every time I go to SEMAnews.com, there's 20 listings.
SEMAnews.com.
Excuse me.
SEMA.org.
Yes.
SEMA.org.
Or with an e-news, yes. So
SEMA.org.
So it's real. People can.
Classifieds right on the home.
So what do you tell young kids, in addition to not only telling them, you help them, you financially help them with college and everything else, they can get a job in this industry. They can go to work at Edelbrock.
There's this whole industry of the coolest people in the world at all these great companies that we know about.
Internships they've got, right?
There's entry level jobs where anybody can aspire to be a part of, to work hard to.
I saw a job posting for a big company. It was an exhaust company.
Joe, how'd you start in this industry?
I'd asked for the job. That's what I tell them. I said, just start asking for a job. I was going to college, and I was working at a hotel where many of the folks in our industry used to attend, and I was...
So you're working in a hotel?
Yes. And we don't have time for that whole story, but yes.
Please. This is a great story.
The
but
story
you're
is...
working in a hotel taking care of people...
Right.
...who happen to be from this industry, and 1 year, they brought you to Los Angeles, and you've enjoyed, this great career... working with the Freiburgers and the Dianas and
the Panicos,
and
the MacGillivrays, and all those guys,
Gary Cases, and the Tim Sasamians, the Joe Moros.
So it's not a job,
and
it was easy to get in.
All these incredible people. Linda Vaughn sees you at the SEMA show and she gives you a high five.
Hey, 1 year. Yes, it's amazing, isn't it? We used to remember she'd come to the hotel. It was like Dolly Parton. The fact that she knew your name was a big thing.
And we're part of this community, and we're always looking for people with heart and talent and passion.
That's our guys. That's our Minibike crowd, man.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
And if you work hard. And
ask for the order.
You do a good job. In addition to your hard work, you end up making a career out of it.
Out of something you like, which is the whole trick.
That's what this industry has been built on. That's what really populates the trade show in Las Vegas in November.
It too. You see it more than I do.
And if you play your cards right, 30 years after you start doing it, you'll be sitting in a garage in La Crescenta, California, talking to an old friend.
Yep. And we see where the guys who started maybe just working on the road, going from town to town, car show to car show, setting up the booth, putting out the wax or putting out the mufflers and talking to the people, then they went from the event guy to the marketing guy. And then they went to the vice president, and then something happened where they went somewhere else. And then they bought their own company. You see it. You see it within the group of guys that were there when you started. So it's viewable everywhere, that it's attainable. And if you like to get a part of this, if you like to get into the industry, because if you're into mini bikes, you're an automotive person, there's room for you. There's room for you. So go buy a mini bike, have some fun. And if you'd like to find out more about our industry, it's just there for you. Reach out. You can check out SEMA.org, as Peter mentioned. Next week.
SEMA SAN.
Yeah.
SEMA, SAN.com.
SEMA Action
SAN.
Network.
Yes, the SEMA Action Network. It's a great way for enthusiasts to find an entryway into this industry.
And you'll see those guys at many of the car shows. You probably see Colby, right, with slick back hair and a nice street rod out there. SEMA Action Network. I'm glad you brought that up.
You got to have him on.
Yeah, he would be good.
Oh.
Because, he's a voice of the contemporary hot rodder. What'd you say?
Well,
he's a roadkill guy.
He's got, sure.
Yeah, he's a roadkill guy.
I think of his mini bike stories. That kid.
Yeah, he came out one time. He came out with his wife. I think he's had a little full dance card. You've been sending him on the road a lot in the summer now. So
No, he loves mini bikes.
Peter, thanks for coming on. It really has been fun. I really know that we could both have some fun going on. Colin Paisley was a great little pimp there. And he's good. We will have him on. Well, we're going to see him in a couple weeks. Let's just hope that we survive that. Thanks for coming on board, really, and stick around. Jake Moe, thank you, brother, for still sticking around. Emmanuel, thanks for another good job. Hey, a little housekeeping. We talked a little bit about an upcoming event. It is something that we've supported here. It's the Scleroderma Walk event that's happening in May. What's the exact date?
May 15th.
May the 15th. If you've got some time, you'd like to be a part of it, sclerodermawalk.org.
Sclerowalk.org.
Sclerowalk.org. That is the web address for more information. It's May the 15th. Check it out. Be a part of that. We decided that we'd like to do that. You'll probably see some Joe's Minibike Reunion giveaways and things along those lines. So thank you for that. Our guest next podcast number 4, as we said earlier, Charles Mini Drag Bike. Mosley will be here. This is the guy who builds some of the wickedest motors out there. He's the guy that everybody wants to get the inside skinny on. He's going to talk to us. And maybe, if we're lucky, Tim from Iski will be joining us. This is Joe from Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast, thanking you for listening, watching, scoping, whatever it is that you're doing. Thanks for all the effort, everybody. We will see you in a couple weeks. Thank you.
Joe's Minibike Show.